Good morning, everyone. So I figured I would start these 88 days of an American witch with a little bit of preview of how I start my morning and a little bit about the tools I'm using when I'm talking about going through the moon phases, since the 88 days is all about 3 moon phases. Well, 3 moon cycles, not phases. So first of all, we've got Mama and the twins here. They usually show up pretty early when I come in. And I like to do this on my porch. I get my little tea. And then what I've done is I go through and I write every place the moon is during this cycle and what sign they're going through and any planets they may be associated or may be in that sign with them. And this isn't going to be your typical mainstream, what they believe that planet is and that kind of thing. It does have a lot of correlations, but I went through about a year and a half ago, somewhere around in there, and I really did a study of the planets, looking at the science of the planets, also looking at positions of the planets, and then looking at the mythology, astrological aspects of the planets, and went through and wrote them all out for myself. Did the same thing for the signs. And so I'm using that work that I did before with this project. And this will be the second moon cycle. Yeah, the second moon cycle that I've done this with. And what I do, so like today, the moon is in Virgo, and it's a new moon. We're starting out, and it has Mercury on its way out. And somebody sent me something on Virgo yesterday, a friend of mine, and I thought it was really cool. And so I would like to read a different way to look at Virgo in this new moon. So it's grandmother spider is how they look at it. Awareness of every thread she holds, asking herself how each thread is in service to the tapestry she is weaving. How does each add strength, vitality, beauty, nourishment? Which ones frayed and dying, those that do not serve what we are building now and do not serve our web now, and how they would make better compost than strings on our loom. Discernment that involves duality, good, bad, right, wrong, that wants to label in extremes leads us to the illusion of perfection. When the priestess separates the wheat, what she keeps, she doesn't waste the chaff, what she is removing. It had a purpose once. It served us once. And now we're just returning it to the earth for it to meld back in with that energy and become something different later. I really, really love that thought. Instead of, we're all focused on organizing and clearing and, all these things in Virgo, when we can be looking at it in a different way. And I am always the person that's going to say, when we're letting things go, even things that we may have seen as bad, they served a purpose for us once. Usually a purpose to protect us, or it was part of our armor at one point that we needed at that point. And so when we let it go with gratitude and thank you. Thank it and let it go and move forward. Because it did serve us once. So each morning I come and I look at this. I find out, the moon, where it's at, what it's doing, and what that energy looks like. I'm not using it to plan my day, but it's that awareness of that energy that day. And if you want to do this, the tool that I use to do this, the mapping of it, is theplanetstoday.com. There is a part in there where you can actually pull up a map, and it goes day by day. And so you can go through all the entire moon cycle and see every place where it's going to be, which is what I do. And then I write it all down in my book. There is also another app that I recently got, and it's called Astro Matrix, and it's a free app. I mean, there's paid pieces in it, but it's a free app. And what you do is you put in your birth information. It does your birth chart in there and all that. But the thing that I'm interested in is it gives you a daily thing where it tells you, you know, what the moon cycle is. It gives you a tarot card to focus on. It gives you a number. It gives you some information about energies for that day with you and all that. Considering that I just got this app and I don't know how it's going to play out, the way that I'm going to use it through this moon cycle is I'm only going to look at it at night when the day is done and do a reflection with it. Did this fit? Because I don't know. I don't know if this app is actually going to fit and reflect what's actually going on. So that's how I'm going to do it. And then at the end of the moon cycle, I'll have a good feeling on if this is a good app. Does it give good information? Does it really correlate with my particular working and things of that nature? If it does, then I'll start looking at it in the morning, the next moon cycle. But the reason I'm doing it at night is because I don't want it to affect my day. I don't want it to be in my mind. I want to see if it holds true. After I do that, I go to my cards. And so this is the Morrigan's deck. And so that's who I'll be talking with this morning. Maybe ancestors this morning too, or they may be later on in the day. It really just kind of depends. I do like to just get a morning read. You know, sometimes I'll just draw one card, or sometimes I'll ask her to, you know, just tell me a story, or, you know, what does she want me to focus on today, or where should my focus and energy be today? I really find that by pulling in the morning, it gives me a focus throughout the day, something to keep in my mind, something to keep in the back of my head, or with ancestors, it's usually a job to do. You know, hey, let's go do this spell. Okay. But I'll get into that later, especially when I get into how I use my tarot, how I do it, what I use it for, different ways it can be used. And I will probably do that later on this afternoon. So yeah, this is just my morning. This is how I do my morning. I come out here, I sit on my porch, I look through my moon stuff, I have a conversation with my deity, with my ancestors, and I take some time to reflect and kind of gather and figure out what I'm going to do today. It's really nice. I've been liking this routine. I've been doing it for a little while now, and it works really well for me. I know there are a lot of non-morning people out there, and guess what? I was one of you. I hated the mornings. Oh my God, I was just, no early mornings. But the interesting thing is, the more that I've done the early mornings, the more I absolutely love it. But I'm also waking up with my valley. I'm get to see animals that I may not see or hear later on in the day. I get to watch them wake up. It's pretty cool. And so, yeah. So my question to you is, how do you start your morning? Do you have a routine? Do you have something that you do that puts you in your mindset for the day, that makes you look at your magic during the day? So I'm going to keep doing videos, and I'll be doing them sporadically throughout the days, giving different types of information. There's a couple of things that we're going to be doing today. We've got a prep for a spell work later, and I will show you what I'm doing there. And I really do think I'm going to go into some of the tarot today. Yeah, sounds like a good plan. All right, have a wonderful one. I'll see you in a little while.